Here we are going live, and no sooner do we go live, does the noise from the laundry room kick over? I hope it's not audible here in the show. Hello, hello, hello. Here we go, recognizing another Svengoolie Svenology show. And this time we're focusing on the Rondo Awards. Today, if you're here live or if you're watching at a later time, June 1, 2024 is when the actual Rondo Award event is going on. We're going to try to cover things in order. There's so many elements and pieces in the works here, so let's try to give them each their just due. So let's go. Fanboy Cantina checking in. Always important to have Fanboy around. Uh, Always good to have Michaela. Good evening and happy Svengoolie Day. See what I did there? I put it on Storgoolie. Good evening and happy Svengoolie Day, the first day of June to all from Storgoolie. She's at her vacation spot, watching from her vacation spot. Never been to Statesboro, Georgia. Will be in Georgia for the month of it. Hey, must be nice to have a month of vacation. Must be nice to be able to kick around in good old Statesboro, Georgia. Thanks for tuning in, Michaela. And Nanette is here. Nothing makes me happier to have Nanette jump in. Also, looking forward to hearing about the Rondo Awards, especially our favorite horror host, Svengoolie. Well, let me tell you, Nanette, me too. And hello to the brother down the street. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Nanette, I again try to use the terminology of Svenology as the study of Sven, but I'm going to say this is a primer, if you will, a primer level exploration or dive into the material of the rondos. I know of the rondos. I have voted in the rondos, but I am, by no means at that expert level, aficionado level of the rondos. So as we're going in again, let's see. We got a new month, so let's take the Universal Monsters calendar off of the wall. And now, what kind of art do we get for good old June? This is a Frankenstein image in flames. You see the villagers with their torches. So I think that's extra interesting. Extra interesting. I'm trying to say because Frankenstein was afraid of fire going back to his very first movie, and then there's the villagers chasing around. So that's to me a really interesting image that you have the visage expressed in that which the monster feared in a flame like representation and presentation. Okay, so let's jump into the pics a little bit and then we'll do some screen shares. But part of the thing about Rondo Hatton, the person, had a very unique visage, and we'll speak on that a little bit. But to the website here, and it bids you enter. So let's go in and take a look at. I guess we'll start with a little bit about Rondo Hatton himself. So as we've in the past looked at some Basil Gogos material here, let me get back out the Basil Gogos book, and I'm trying to situate myself a little as we're going. So there is a Basil Gogos imagery of Rondo Hatton, and boy, oh boy, does he capture that unique face, that horror movie worthy face very well right there. And again, let me pull the picture down, and hopefully I can be nimble enough here that within the book. Oh, and what's this? How did I save the page with the good old business card of the horror house? Good guys, there's Coffee the Coffin. All right, so here's the actual. I'm trying to juggle too much here, but we'll get there. There's okay. Third time is the charm. There's the image in the book. So just referencing and citing the sources for people that wanted to see more about Rondo or see Rondo as depicted by Basil Gogos. This is the way right here. Famous movie monsters movies, and another book that we've taken a good look at from time to time around here is the good old Universal Studios Monsters. And here's some pages on Rondo. So Rondo isn't the same size of a name, isn't a marquee draw the way maybe a Boris Karloff, the way a Cheney Jr. or Cheney Sr. or Bela Lugosi or the others. But Rondo was absolutely a key contributor. So we can see down here in the corner of this movie poster, there's his face in Jungle Captive. I guess maybe the role he was known best for was the Creeper. That kind of made me wonder, did the creators on the Scooby-Doo side take the character Creeper with some influence and based on Rondo, Rondo's character in the movie? Here we got Pearl of Death, and with Basil Rathbone, and very similar. There he is, just popping up in the corner. And now we got some bigger imagery of Rondo right up there at the top of the screen, putting on a Creeper strangling move. So that's a little bit about Rondo, the actor. So then came to pass that as the year 2002 came around, that was the first year for the Rondo Awards. So, and here is, let's get to Sven. Here's a new comment. I'll come to it in a minute. Here's Sven's acceptance speech from last year. Now, this is when he was out at the minor league baseball game. It looks like it was a real fun night. Now, that's definitely one of the recurring moves that Sven does. If you can see just past the hat and just past the hair, there's the not quite the silhouette, but a little bit of the outline of Jim, who was there at the appearance with Sven. So, it's pretty cool to watch the acceptance speeches. Okay, so being that I don't have that much knowledge of the awards, who can I ask? Who's got the knowledge? I'll tell you who's got the knowledge. Chris Hamby, Silver Screen Reflections. So I did a little bit of emailing with Chris Hamby, and what Chris said is what he noted, and I noted the same after he tipped me off to it. There were a limited amount of categories in 2002, and the number of categories expanded across the years. And so then I think that's kind of cool. You start a thing, and then the thing grows and takes on more life of its own. So David Colton is at least half of the creative force behind the Rondo Awards, and Carrie Gamble, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly or close to correctly, is the other half, is on the artistry side of it. So again, thanks Chris Hamby for being my consultant and information provider as I was digging through that. Let me just keep a little mental note of what's my next picture. Come back over to comments. Yep. Creepy. And yay for Chris Hamby. Always a yay for Chris Hamby, to be sure. No doubt. All right. So where was I? Right there. So besides Svengoolie, who do I know of? Who else is in the greater circle that actually has landed a Rondo Award? And that would be, if we're going to Terror Dave's, just like it says right there, terrordaves.com, and you find the way within the menu and do the tag archives for Rondo Awards, or maybe if you just Google Terror Dave Rondo Awards, there we can go far enough back in time, and you can see right there the year 2011 Rondo Award, Terror from Beyond the Daves, her best blog. And what a posted back in 2012 by Dave himself, when Dave was in our very first Svenology episode ever. How cool was it that was one of the pictures that Dave shared with us at that time, and did a little bit of storytelling about how cool that was to be recognized for the Terror Dave's blog with an actual Rondo Award. Oh, comments are stacking. Let's come back to comments and give myself a mental note of, all right, fanboys digging that. I thought I'd do something a little different, and it is summer, but now I'm glad. See that a lot of moving pieces here, but it was a rainy, chilly day in the city of Winds, and it was kind of confined to garage cleaning. That was the right way to go with the day, but I still wanted to have some kind of summertime business going on. And also, as a reminder, we are in cicada season, and part of my garage cleaning, backyard cleaning, was pooling up all the cicada shells instead of just letting them be frozen in time in their various poses around the various hideout spots in the backyard. All right. Where was I? I was right by the Terror Dave business. And then, looking at IMDb, Rondo Hatton didn't have that long of a life. He passed on at age 51. For those of us that were familiar with the work of John Schnepp, John Schnepp had also passed on at age 51. And as my cohort is just in that and aging past that marker, it's kind of stands out for me that's been better to have had more life, have had more years. Okay, so again, some of the images, like right. So I was thinking in my head, comparing this to Dracula, right? Well, at least as Dracula is supposed to be, the character won't appear in a mirror. There were some different sequences in the history of Universal where, say, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, where Dracula did appear in the mirror, but within the story, right? Imagine you're in the role of this character, and all of a sudden you look in the mirror, and here's this menacing figure of the brute or the creep or the creeper, and see, it's convincingly sells the terror and the horror. Again, it's the same thing that we just saw in the book, but the use of, in some of these other pictures, the use of shadow. Here we go. The shadow and light to lend to the menacing nature of the character. And I mean, look, this guy's done for. I mean, if he doesn't know it yet, it's over. But ring the bell, it's all over. Once Rondo Hatton gets you, you're not recuperating from that. You're done. So I meant to actually save this piece to read it directly, again, because I don't know the material all that well, and I'm trying to learn it. So in one of the movies within the film, there was a character who was making statuettes or oversized busts within the plot of the movie based on Rondo's face. So that I thought that was pretty cool then, that the same thing turns into the actual image that would be used for the recognition of the award statuette. All right. So again, Pearl of Death, same stuff that we saw. And again, just the striking image, right? The shadow and light, just that's a unique face, a unique character. Really cool, I say. All right, so let's do some screen shares now, because as it is here today. Oh, hang on. Let me come back and do this the right way. Go to present and share screen and share again and come right into here. And okay, so as we are here right now, today is the day that the actual awards are given out. And this is brand new for me to learn this. That, I mean, I knew of the awards, but I didn't know the vehicle by which they would get passed out or recognized. So there's many cons and many festivals, this one being Wonderfest over in Louisville, Kentucky at the Crown Plaza Hotel. So right there's, so again, some of these names I'm going to know, some not, but Vanessa Harryhausen, daughter of Ray Harryhausen, who's the stop motion legend. So I guess I'm showing the pictures to be able to say this looks like a top quality convention. Would have been cool to be there for the actual Rondo Awards ceremony right here today. So something else I can start to do further homework on is check out that website and that blog and look at just Googling around and seeing what different posts there are about Wonderfest. Okay, so let me come around now to try to see, as I was just doing your good old Wikipedia search to get some more notes in my head about Rondo himself and the awards. So as it says right here, David Colton and artist illustrator Terry Gamble, since the inception, coordinated by Colton as the presenter. So right now, Mr. Colton is most likely, I would imagine, at the event, having a panel and a celebration and taking care of the awards over there. So to me, that is, again, a cool thing to learn about. Let me also say that I know that not everybody, like, I believe they send out the awards also. So it's not like if you don't show up, you don't get to take your award home. I guess similar to other award ceremonies, sometimes a award is accepted on behalf of another party. So there's that also. All right. So again, wait. I had the whole thing about the actual. Let me see if I can get the right screen share, because that's where showing that they recognize the winners across all the different categories. And let me get this one. I put too many things up here, and now, oh no, there we go. So I did actually legit prep this one at category 21. There's a favorite horror host, and I am 99.99% sure this picture was taken from Dave Fuentes' photography work at, talk about a different convention, at the most recent C2E2. So again, a whole lot of, now this looks like it would be kind of fun. Blobfest run out at the Colonial Theater in Phoenixville. Never done that, but that could be probably a really good time. So again, there's just all these different. I won't go into every category. Again, this is more of a primer, not doing a deep dive. But best film to win the Rondo, Godzilla -1. Best TV presentation, What We Do in the Shadows. Best Blu-ray, Robot Monster. And best restoration upgrade, Robot Monster. And again, there's so many things now. Again, David Skal is someone I'm not familiar with, but I think that's who Sven mentioned at the panel at C2E2, as he likes to read his material to learn and stay current on things. So again, as a primer and not a deep dive, I think it's pretty cool to be able to look at rondoaward.com and see all these different things coming and going. So again, congrats to Rich Coase, to Svengoolie, for bringing home yet another Rondo Award, and that's pretty good, pretty cool stuff. Now, shifting gears a little bit, as we looked at the calendar for starters, this is something that Fanboy G and I typically try to do at the start of a month. So tonight on the actual Svengoolie show, we have Vincent Price, William Castle, The Tingler, Monolith Monsters. I'm not familiar with this one, so I guess I've got a lot of homework. I've got my summer reading list is growing and growing as we come into summer vacation time. There'll be plenty of things for me to check up and check out. A little bit later into the month, and The Pit and the Pendulum. Again, that absolutely a classic when you get Vincent Price on The Pit and the Pendulum through the lens of Roger Corman. And Leech Woman, again, this is one I have not seen, or if I have seen it, it's only been bits and pieces and been a long time ago. And then closing out June, we're going to have The Undead. Very cut to this, more Corman. The more Corman, the better. Reincarnation Time, Travel, and etc. So that sounds like a really well loaded thing. Let's come back to comments, and then we do have some other. Not the tickler, the tingler, my friend, the tingler. Man, I'm looking in the direction. Now I'm coughing again. Jeepers creepers. I can't get rid of this cough. Okay. Other things I wanted to take a little scan around here is I got so many screens to share. Let's take a dip into Reddit territory. Reddit. Okay. So clowning around on Reddit as we do. Let me try to steer now. Right. So again, credit to Fanboy G for pointing out to me that the mini tiki bar existed at Target, and that'll be $5 and change for people to pick up from Target. So this was some of the clowning around in the Svengoolie subreddit group within Reddit. This is again of all the different things I'm learning. So boy, how would I even say that? Okay, so I'll have a skeleton key, my good sir, and then they post the recipe. Coffee Jedi is looking to have a classic zombie. Hope for years says because of course. Danny Hollows calling for death in the afternoon, and again, I don't even remember how the bit started, but does Sven have the hat on, or does Sven not have the hat on? Again, in this instance, Sven absolutely does happen Oxytocin deficiency is asking when does Gwen Goolie's shift at the Tiki Bar start, and they do not send me the schedule, so I do not know. And then either oh no, not again is saying maybe good to see mini versions of the monsters, and I'm saying spoilers that might be coming around in the near future. So let me again come to stop sharing and let me get my bearings a bit. Glorious, glorious indeed. All right, Nanette, before Fanboy G jumped in there, said, "Oh, the Tiki Bar." Yeah, yeah, Nanette, it's right there at Target. Nanette, I mean, now let me say this: my closest Target didn't have them, but then they're never. It's not necessarily as close as from one McDonald's to the next, but in general, Targets are pretty decently close to one another. And I suppose there's always the online ordering process. But I was definitely glad Fanboy G tipped me off to the mini Tiki Bar, specific to being able to clown around with some Sven imagery and such. And Pit and the Pendulum was super scary when I saw it in seventh grade. See, again, for a guy who says that the mushroom people, the Matango, had put, but you've seen so many more horror movies than I have, like career wise, decade to decade. If we're going to mark 70s, mark 80s, mark 90s, mark 2000s, mark to 2010s, and mark to now, oh, and I could only look forward to what your creative mind would do with the mini Sven, the Super 7 scale size Sven, and that Tiki Bar. And again, I just threw out a very basic one there, but I'm sure with the way you see things in your artistic way that you'll be able to come up with some other stuff. All right, and this one's just for novelty purposes here, so we can see right within the diver helmet. I always try to wonder lights on or lights off. So I'm gonna just do a demo here. Is it that much different? Is it not really different? Okay, so now you can definitely see a little light. It's gone dark. Lights on, lights out, lights on, lights out. I don't know. I kind of like it better with the lights, but so many times I've then walked away from the mini set back here, and then they come back the next morning and I've drained all the batteries on the lights. So not too bright of me to drain the batteries on the lights. Okay, so again, a lot of good business coming around. I guess I'm going to start to do the wrap up. Definitely some things to be announced for the 45th anniversary celebration of Sven that are not yet announced, but let's keep checking the announcements section on the Me TV. Also, we're getting closer and closer to the local Chicago flashback weekend horror convention. So I would have to imagine, I have no insider knowledge, but I have to imagine there's Sven's showing up for that, and also that he's going to have some 45th anniversary continuing recognitions and panels and hangouts and all that good stuff. So we're coming into another summertime Sven season. I do have one more thing I'm going to jump to, but let me see if there's any other closing comments before we go. Otherwise, thanks to Fanboy, thanks to Michaela, thanks to Nanette, thanks to Dimitri, and that's who we had joining us tonight. Now, this is not directly Sven related, but definitely Universal Monsters business right here. I've been hoping and wondering if and when possibly would this stuff ever come together. And then just the other day in the Universal Monsters on Reddit, so the new Toonie Terrors from NECA, the new line is on pre-order, estimated to arrive October of 2024. There are some people, and buy what you like, but don't buy what you don't like. Enjoy what you do. Don't don't be upsold into other things. Some people had a critique that these could have been done better. Now, for me, I don't know. I guess that's a point. But look at that Dracula holding that candle. Look at that Lon Chaney Jr. ready to walk with the Queen. Frankenstein's got some kind of it got his typical odd gait shuffle going there, and that mummy face looks so much like Boris. So for me, I am looking forward to these iterations through the Toonie Terrors coming around. Look at them. Look again with the shadows and lighting bit. It's all It's all good stuff for me. So again, if somebody's not into that, that's totally cool. Don't be into it. But just for my own taste, I was kind of liking that those are coming out now. And then even I'm hoping for a wave 2 to, and count your chickens before they hatch and everything. Yep, fanboy thing, right? That exactly. Some people didn't feel they looked good, but that's better to look good than to feel good, per Billy Crystal on Fernando's Hideaway. Where was I going? Not to get greedy before this wave even comes out, but with a quote unquote big 4 there, I was hoping that the next wave would include The Bride of Frankenstein, Creature, Invisible Man, maybe Phantom of the Opera. That would be a good second round for me. So I'm gonna go try to find some dinner and some chill time before the tingler starts tingling around on the big broadcast tonight. Thanks everybody for watching, tuning in, and I appreciate people palling around and having fun. More good Sven business coming around. As I said, I'm going to close this out. Thanks so much. This is Mr. C diving back out. Oh, Nanette, just thank you for being around, and thank you, Nanette. All right, and we are out.